Hello again, everyone. I'm Sarah from A Curious Cuttlefish, and today we are doing part 2 of our Ebbing Tides Shawlette. Hello, everyone. So here is what we did from last week. So this week we are going to be starting on row number 9. And so let me just bring my hook over here. Let's put it in, and we are going to begin row 9. Make sure, see if I need to adjust my camera at all, maybe the focus a little bit. Okay, right there. So for row 9 is going to be just like, let's see, row 3. So we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 2 double crochets into our first stitch. 1, 2, and then we are going to do a treble crochet in the next stitch and single crochet, and we're going to repeat that until we reach the center. So here's our treble, oops, treble, single, treble, single, treble. We're going to do this down this whole side. I'm going to continue this and bring you guys back once I am close to hitting that center space. So just keep going with your treble and single crochets down this side, and I will join you once I'm a few stitches away from the center. Okay, so here I am 1 stitch before I hit this center portion. So I just did a single crochet, so we should be having a treble crochet right here. Oops, try that again, pull it out. Treble, so 2 loops around our hook. There's our treble crochet, and so now we're back at our center chain 2 space. We are going to double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet into that chain 2 space. And now, since the last stitch that we did before we reached this chain 2 space was our treble crochet, we're going to start with a treble crochet into this one. This first double crochet is going to be a treble crochet into that one, and then we're going to do our single crochet, and we're going to continue altering down this side of our shawl with the treble crochet and the single crochet. Every other treble and single. So I'm going to continue down this side, and then I'll meet you guys once I am at this last stitch at the end right here. Okay, so here I am at the stitch before the last stitch of row 9. I am doing my treble crochet. So let me get that. There's my treble crochet, and so now I am in that last chain 3, which is the last stitch. So I am going to be working 3 double crochets into this last stitch. So there's 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so that completes row 9, and now we're going to start on row 10. So because row 10 is an even row, it's going to be the same as all the other even rows, just like row 2. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, put 2 double crochets into that same first stitch. So there's 1, here's 2, and then just like row 2, we are going to do a double crochet in each of these stitches all the way until we reach the center, where we'll do a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then double crochet all the way down till the end here, where we will do 3 double crochets into that last stitch. So I am going to do again a repeat of row 2. If you need to rewatch how this row is done, it is in week 1. And then when I get to this edge here and I'm finishing out row 10, I will come back and meet up with you guys and show you how to do row 11. Okay, so right here in the last stitch, just like all the other rows, I put these last 3 double crochets into that top of the chain 3 space. So that concludes our row 10. So now I'm going to flip this over. We are going to start on row 11. And so for row 11, we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We are going to do 2 double crochets into that first stitch. 1, 2. And now we are going to do a treble crochet, single crochet, treble crochet, single crochet. We're going to alternate that all the way until we get to the center. So here's our treble, followed by a single, treble, followed by a single. So I'm just going to repeat this pattern, treble and single, all the way until I get to my chain 2 space. I'll bring you guys back once I'm there at the center, and you're just going to keep doing this pattern, treble and single, until we get there. Okay, so I'm here at that last stitch. I am ending on another treble crochet. So now we are at the center chain 2 space, as you see right here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a double crochet in that chain 2 space, chain 2, and another double crochet back into that chain 2 space, and we ended on a treble crochet. So just like earlier, I'm going to be doing a treble crochet into this first stitch here. So there, we're going to do our treble crochet, single crochet in this next one, and following that pattern all the way down along this side, treble crochet, single crochet, treble crochet, single crochet, till we get to our last, that chain 3, which is the last stitch. We're going to do 3 double crochets, and that will conclude row 11. So I'm going to finish up this row, bring you guys back for row 12. Okay, so I just finished up this row, so this concludes row 11. I have my 3 double crochets here, and I had gotten comments on this, so I'm going to flip over And if you look on these rows that we're doing the single crochets and treble crochets, you will have this texture. It does give it a slight bobble-like appearance, and that's what you want. We want this to have this slight texture on it. So when you're doing these rows, if you see this coming up, you are doing it just right. That is what it should look like. Okay, so now we are on row 12. So row 12 is just like row 2, and that's what I love about this pattern, is that not all the even rows, they are the same. So we are going to chain our 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 2 double crochets into that first stitch, 1, 2, and now we're going to do a double crochet in every single stitch all the way across until we reach the center where we have our double crochet, chain 2 double crochet into that chain 2 space, and then we're going to continue double crocheting into each of these stitches all the way across till we reach the end, where we'll do 3 double crochets into this last stitch. So our even rows are all the same. It makes it very easy. We're just going to be doing our double crochets all the way across. So I am going to work on that. This is what row 12 will be, and I will come back. You guys can pause and do your row 12, and then I will go over row 13. Okay, so that finished up row 12. I did my last 3 double crochets into that last stitch. So now I'm going to flip over. We are going to start row 13. So just like all the other rows, we are going to have our chain 3 and 2 double crochets into that first stitch. So 1, 2. Okay, and then for row 13, we're going to be doing a chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet, and we're following this pattern down and along the side with our chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. We're going to continue this all the way along each side. So let me just get to the center portion. So for now we're just going to go until we're right before our chain 2 space, which indicates our point of this shawlette. So I am going to move forward time a little bit. Once I'm there, I'll stop right before I'm at that center portion, and I'll bring you guys back to show you how we do that part. Okay, so I'm right here, right before our center space. I need to chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, and I'm going to chain 1, and I'm skipping this last one right here. I am going to do a double crochet into the chain 2 space, chain 2, double crochet back into that chain 2 space, and so we ended on a chain where we skipped this first one. We're going to start on a chain 1, skip the first one, double crochet into this next stitch, and now again along this side we're going to keep following that pattern of chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, next stitch. And we're going to continue that along this side until we reach our final stitch, which is the top of the chain 3 space, and at the point that we hit that, we're going to be doing 3 double crochets into that last space instead of just 1 double crochet as we've been doing in the pattern along this edge. So let me fast forward. We're going to get to where we're doing those 3 double crochets in the last stitch, and then we will be on row 14. Okay, so I'm finishing up this row. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1. So now we're at that last stitch. We are going to be doing, like I said, 3 double crochets into this last stitch. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that's row 13. So now I'm gonna flip this. Okay. And we're gonna start row 14. This is an even row, so we know how this row is gonna work. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, do 2 double crochets. Oops, sorry for the background noise. 2 double crochets into that first stitch. Now we are going to double crochet in each stitch across until we reach that chain 2 space, and we want to remember when doing it on this row, row 14, that every chain 1 space that counts as a stitch, so we need to do a double crochet into each chain 1 space. The only one that this doesn't count for is our chain 2 space, which is right at the center of our shawl. So we're going to be doing double crochets in every double crochet and every chain 1 space along this side. Just like this, until we reach the center, where we'll do a double crochet, chain 2, a double crochet, and then continue double crocheting all along the side in each stitch and each chain 1 space until we reach the end right here. The last stitch will get 3 double crochets, just like row 2. So we know the drill. I am going to fast forward and get you to row 15. After you finish this row, this is row 14. Okay, so here we just finished up row 14. So I just did my last 3. So I'm going to turn it. We are going to start row 15. So let's do 3 chains and 2 double crochets into that first stitch. This is how all the rows start out. And now for row 15, this is a new row. So, oh, actually, I'm just realizing row 15 is different. We are chaining 2, not 3. Chain 2. We are going to do 2 half double crochets into the first stitch. Oops. 1, 2. And now we're going to half double crochet in every stitch until we reach our chain 2 space. So do half double crochets all the way across. When we reach our chain 2 space, it's going to be a half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet into the chain 2 space, and then half double crochet all the way across to the last stitch, where we will do 3 half double crochets, and that is how we're going to be doing row 15. So I'm just going to continue this and then I will bring you guys back. So it's very similar to row 2, it's just we're doing half double crochets all the way across. Okay, so I just finished my last 3 half double crochets into the opposite end. We are going to turn. We are now on an even row. This is row 16. This is the last row for this week. We are going to be chaining 3, and then we are working into the back loops only. So for this row, so we're going to do 2 double crochets, back loops only, But because this is an even numbered row, it's just like row number 2. It's just instead of working into all the stitches regularly, we're just working into the back loops only. So in every stitch we're going to do a double crochet. Just make sure that you're working only into the back loops all the way down along the side, and then once we hit the center, that chain 2 space, we are going to just work right into that chain 2 space just like normal, and then go back to working into back loops only along the opposite side, and ending with 3 double crochets in the last stitch. So I'm going to fast forward and then show you guys what that looks like, and I'll bring it forward for you guys to see. So let me fast forward till we hit that point, and I apologize for the background noise. Okay, so I just wanted to reiterate, here I am at my chain 2 space. I have been working into the back loops. I am going to work regularly right into that chain 2 space with a double crochet, chain 2, and a double crochet right into that space, and then we're going to continue back to working into the back loops only. Double crochet in each stitch and just work into those back loops until we reach the end right here, where we will be doing 3 double crochets. Okay, so we have finished row 16, so this is as far as we've gotten. And I'll come back next week and we'll do another 8 rows. So thanks for joining me for this crochet along.